I've been chatting to a company about the significant amount of positive preclinical data that they have about their product. Does this mean that they can do less human studies or even no human studies at all?
Yeah, it's a good question, Shawnee. I think the value and the role of preclinical data in an EFSA health claim submission is not something that's well understood by many companies. I think preclinical data can help you to gain an approval, but is it going to lower the amount of human data that you need? Probably not. I think you've got to remember that in their guidance notes, EFSA says that, and we've used this phrase before, the top of the hierarchy to inform their decision making is cause and effect, and that cause and effect is proven through human intervention studies. And I think you have to remember that preclinical data is animal model data, it's in vitro studies, and what it is supportive. And I think the proof of that you can see in some of the past applications where EFSA doesn't even go on to review the preclinical data if they feel that the human data is inadequate. So what you have to look at is say it's supportive of the human studies, but you have to have that cause and effect demonstrated in human studies first.
So preclinical data alone will not wholly support a health claim application for a company, but how do they maximize its impact on their submission and within their dossier?
Yeah, because it is influential. And I think you've got to remember the dossier structure itself is fixed. So you've got 6 parts of the dossier where you organize the data and where you have a chance to use this information. And what you've got to remember with the preclinical data is you're showing a link, and you're showing the link between, if I can call preclinical data, the mechanistic work that's describing the mode of action, and you've got to link that to the outcomes that you're measuring in the human studies. So what you need to focus on is question marks that will naturally appear in the eyes of a reviewer about the relative dosing. You know, is the dose that's used in the animal study relevant to the dose that's used in the human study? Is the duration of intervention relevant? Because obviously in animal work, for instance, small animals like mice live such short life cycles. So it's mapping that data that you have in a pre-medical clinical situation to underpin the human data, correlating it to the outcomes you've measured in humans. That's how you make the most of it in your submission. But don't think it's ever going to be enough to prove cause and effect.
Has there been examples of positive health claims, Steve, where the preclinical data had a significant influence on the outcome of the health claim?
Yeah, there have been a few examples. And if we took the example of a positive Article 13.5 claim for sugar beet fibre, it's one that people remember because it was successful with just 2 human intervention studies. But I think those studies and the way the product works was very unique in a way that the product doesn't have to be absorbed. It's acting locally in the gastrointestinal tract. It's changing bowel function by softening stools and making easier passage through the gastrointestinal tract. So it's a much simpler thing to demonstrate. And in that situation where absorption isn't necessary, the value of the mechanistic studies, the preclinical data, was higher. But that's the exception, Shawnee, I think, rather than the rule.